Colonel Mabry, just before we wrap up, and I'm going to ask if you'd all be kind enough to give three individual reasons why people should join the armed forces or become reservists. Colonel Mabry, just before that question, what is the minimum requirement or commitment from a person who wants to become a reservist? Is there any minimum requirement?
It's well, in terms of time, or I mean,
No,
first,
in terms of if they join today and they want to leave after a year or 2 years or whatever that may be, what's the
yeah, I
time?
mean, yeah, in order to join, obviously they've got to go through a selection process, and that includes passing a series of tests, including some physical tests, and they've got to pass a medical as well. But once they've been attested and signed up, effectively, the commitment is both open ended, but also, should they choose to leave at any time, then pretty much they can do just that. And if
Within the first 12
if
months, would that be
yes,
okay?
yes, yes,
Okay, fine, brilliant.
as a reservist, yeah, absolutely, yeah, yeah,
Accept.
or indeed a member of the regular armed forces. I mean, yeah, if you can sign off. No matter what your commitment is, you may sign off at any time. You can't perhaps leave. You won't be able to leave immediately, but it won't take very long. Particularly if you're in training. But of course, most people don't do that. Most people sign up and serve on for many years.
Fantastic. So, if you could give three reasons why our viewers should consider joining the reservists, what would they be?
Um, Gosh. I think one of the reasons would be that it absolutely is a fantastic opportunity for personal development, as we've heard. Um, yeah, secondly, I think a lot of people do join because actually they recognise that their service is valuable, and they want to go that extra step in terms of serving their country. And I would say the third thing would be join, because you will make a fantastic set of friends, and and you'll be part of a fantastic team, and those friendships will last you the rest of your life.
Same question goes to Ed. I know you've had so much fun. I know you've travelled the world, and every time you speak about the Navy, I see your chest puff out and I see you stand tall. You've clearly enjoyed your 22 years. But if you were to give the viewers three reasons why they should join, what
Well,
would they
like I
be?
said, for somebody like me, born and bred in Aston, for my 6 week holidays, I used to go to the bull ring. So that's the kind of like upbringing I had. So one would definitely be travel. To join the armed forces, you will see the world, you travel the world, and it's paid by the Navy. Second thing, education. Meanwhile, you're there, you're going around the world, you're doing your task book, you're sitting exams, time will fly by the time you finish, or like Colonel Mabry said, after you've done your 5 years and you want to leave with the diploma, you can go on and work for a big company and you got a diploma free of charge. And the most thing what people don't realize, it's a way of life. It's not just a job, it's a way of life. I've met people the first year I started back in '99, and I still speak to them today. Is that bond of united friends you meet as you're going along your way. It is a organization where they recognize you for not what you are, but what you can do and achieve. And for me, that is one of the best organizations to be part of. And one thing what nobody has mentioned, one thing what nobody has mentioned, we talk about we are the military fighting force, education, but we have an excellent social side of us as well. Every year, we all go off to Sweden, what the armed forces pay for. If you can't ski, they teach you to ski. If you're a footballer, you can represent the armed forces around the world. Just last year, I joined Telford ice skating team. I can't ice skate, hockey team. I can't ice skate, but I just joined it because there's something more I wanted to do. So I'm still learning. So once again, look at that. What organisation would say to you, go and join an ice hockey team, and you can't skate? You can't. I can't believe it. Anyway, so that's fine.
You clearly enjoy what you do, and it's so apparent by the way you talk about it. So brilliant.
Thank you.
And Ahmed, just a question before your three tips. Being from a BAME background and being from a certain community, you must have faced some resilience. And there may be viewers out there who are contemplating maybe joining the armed forces, but are hesitant due to resilience or not approval. What sort of challenges have you faced, and how have you overcome or dealt with them?
Abid, look, to answer honestly, okay, I've been in the Air Force 34 years. I've traveled all over the world and I've done things which, dare I say, many viewers may, or listeners, I should say, may not have done. And in that time, like any other organization, there will be challenges, but they're isolated cases. And the UK Armed Forces has a robust system, and I mean a robust system. If there are challenges, and if you are referring to things of race, religion, or anything like that, they are dealt with fairly quickly. If I was to say to you, in my time of being in the Air Force, in my very early days, there were a couple of isolated incidents which were dealt with through, what I know now, possibly the wrong means, in the fact that I couldn't handle the way I should have handled them. But look where we are now. If I was to say to you, is our Chief of Air Staff and the Chief of Defence Staff, and the equivalents of the Royal Navy and Army, make it absolutely clear we have a diversity and inclusion plan which comes from the Ministry of Defence, filtered down to the three services, and they in turn put that into practice. Okay, if I can focus on the Air Force, the Chief of Air Staff has something called the ASTRA, and amongst that, Strategic Objective 2 talks about a diverse and inclusive workforce, and there is no room at all for any kind of behaviour which is not seen to be good. So and again, what I say to people, and I am from a Pakistani Muslim background, and I joined the Air Force from Bradford, where religion, and my father, who's we're Pashtun background, was really quite strict in our religion and our upbringing. The military have allowed that platform. If I can give you one more story very quickly, and I know we're short for time, I had a padre who worked at a place called Arif Wittering, who rang me when I used to be at the hospital at Peterborough. He said, "I want to show you something," and I said, I went along there, and he turned part of the church into a place of worship for Muslims. He said, "I put the Quran up at the top there so nobody put their feet towards it and above the head. There's an area here for you to do wuzu, and I put the prayer mat there facing east." I looked at this guy and I thought, you've gone out of your way. He didn't need to do any of that. But he then called me, one of the only few Muslims in the area, to come and have a look, and just to make sure that is the case. And the same applies for all the different faiths. We take it really quite seriously. And now, of course, here I am to have completed the Umrah, managed to do my diploma, my first degree, and my master's, done a series of other qualifications. If this was an organization which didn't support diversity and inclusivity, then, people like my friend Edmund and myself and a few of our other colleagues would not be sticking around for 34 years, and we would not be going out to the communities and talking about how great we've been and what a great life we've had. So I want to make it quite clear, the perception change is important, and this is why your program and this platform is so important, and thanks very much for having us, is to be able to get out there and say to people, look, the British military is about the individual. Edmund and the Colonel have made reference to it, and if we can find the skill in that individual, we will bring it out. The color, the creed, the background does not matter. That's something that we support, but it's the individual who produces something for the team to go and deliver what we need to do. And that's the important thing, I think.
Excellent. So your parting 3 tips as to why people should join.
3 tips, my friend, will be life skills. You pick them up and you'll have them forever. Further education is one thing I can talk about, and you've heard me bang on about it. It's brilliant, because once you have that, you have it. And to be perfectly honest, it's a great and varied career I've had. It's a good life, and you make some bloody good friends.
Fantastic. Gentlemen, I'd like to thank you for taking time out on your Sunday morning. Colonel Maybury, Ed Granson, and Amir, thank you very much for joining us this morning. And the viewers, if they are interested